This is my review for Jordan Peele's recent movie titled Nope. As you can see, this video is pretty short because there's not much to say about this movie. It's not like this was a terrible movie. I was still interested from the beginning to the end, but it's like stuff was happening, but at the same time, nothing was happening. So even after watching the movie, if you ask me to explain the plot, I think what I would say is an alien comes to Earth, or it's been living in the clouds the whole time and sucks up people. And that's it. Like, there's no real clear explanation for what's going on. There's like a sub story going on with the Ricky guy, the same dude who played Glenn in Walking Dead. We get this story about how as a kid in the series he was on this TV show, this sitcom or whatever, and it was about a monkey that like lived with the family, kind of like Dog with a Blog or something like that. And then one day the monkey just started going wild and killed everybody, and that was it. He just got killed off, and it was never really explained. Like we didn't get any more information about that whole subplot at all. It was just there to be there. But one of my major issues with this movie is I didn't get the aliens deal. Like, why was it there? What is it? Like what? We didn't really get any of that. Like, I know Jordan Peele does like a lot of deeper meaning type stuff in his writing, but when the main plot is centered around this concept, like, why is this thing doing what it's doing, and you don't give it to us, it's kind of confusing. Picture if the Buu saga of Dragon Ball Z had no Supreme Kai and it just started off with Kid Buu from the jump. Yeah, the fight would have been cool and everything, but the whole time I would have been questioning, like, why is they fighting? Who is this? Like, what's his purpose? What is it? It just doesn't make any sense. If you've seen this movie and you look at the casting list, you will notice that none of these characters were in the movie for longer than 10 minutes. Like, after Kiki Palmer and OJ, everybody else in this movie was absolutely useless. Like, you might say the tech dude was somewhat useful. He brought his van in and helped them situations, but majority of it could have been done by any character. They brought in this Gordy dude who was supposed to be the know-it-all dude who can capture what's really going on and all this and that, but he got killed off for no reason. He just offed himself, basically. And the rest of the cast, like, it's a random police officer who showed up on one of the scenes. They had a random TMZ dude, I don't know if he's listed here. A customer, like, there's just a bunch of nobodies. Like, every other character in this movie is pretty much irrelevant. Me personally, I'm not like a Jordan Peele fan. I still think Us and Get Out were 10 out of 10 movies, but before that I didn't know who he was. I know my age is probably showing, but yeah, I'm not going to base this movie off of my love for him. This movie, I'm just basing it off of the movie itself. Either way, this movie failed in my eyes for one of two reasons. Number one, the message of the movie completely flew over my head. I watch a lot of psychological thrillers and I'm able to understand everything that's going on, but in this movie, I didn't really get anything that was going on. I was just throwing theories left and right, like, is it the animals, is it a parasite or something like that, but at the end of the movie, they just blew it up with a balloon, so nothing was really answered. It didn't feel like I missed some sort of second meaning like Get Out and Us had. It felt like the entire meaning was just non-existent. Or there's option number two, that the movie was just poorly written. The reason I don't think it's option two is because it seems like there was something there that I just either missed or was taken out of the movie. Like, I don't know much about Jordan Peele, but after watching Get Out and Us, you can't convince me that he just dropped this random emotionless Pennywise into the story and he just didn't think of a story for it. Like, it was just that lackluster to the point where I feel like I missed something. Like, even though I paid full attention to the movie and I watch movies like this all the time, even I feel like I had to have missed something big to just not enjoy this movie. I feel like I covered the confusing randomness of this movie, but let me add one more thing. How you gonna give us this intense, dark, blood rain scene with the UFO hovering over the house, but end the movie off with this Fortnite UFO chasing OJ on a horse through the desert doing absolutely nothing? I know nighttime rain is always used in movies like Batman and everything else, but this entire scene was hard. Like, you actually felt fear, like everything that was going on, him trying to get the people, his sister and tech dude out of the crib, him hiding next to the car, him hiding inside the car where the thing flew through the car. Like, it was a whole bunch of cold junk going on in that moment. But then the final scene, old dude sacrificed himself for no reason. He didn't even sacrifice himself, he just kind of just gave up. Like, that might have had a meaning to it that I missed, but it was still stupid either way. And what else happened? They ran to the spot. I didn't really get what was going on in that final scene, but that rain scene hit. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. That's all I really got to say about this movie. I didn't go into it expecting much because all I knew about this movie was that it was made by Jordan Peele. I didn't really care about that fact that much, so I just basically went into this movie blind. This movie is 6 because it was. I'll rate this movie a 6 because it was still enjoyable to watch, but I didn't get the story at all. I'll rate this movie maybe a 6 because it was still enjoyable to watch, but it felt so poorly written that I gotta make excuses for it to sound good. They had a huge cast of big actors that weren't utilized in this movie at all. The plot surrounding the alien made absolutely no sense. They had the granddad or the dad killed off almost immediately and didn't really go back into that. The alien turned into a bunch of green screen curtains. That was stupid. I was not a fan of that. And having Kiki Palmer act like a teenager who off the Ritalin and having OJ act like a dude who took her Ritalin, like it just didn't really work out for me throughout the entire movie. Even if there is some subtext hidden in this movie, the entire plot revolved around us understanding it, so it just made the movie bad overall. That's all I really got to say about this movie. Get Out and Us was still a 10 out of 10 movie, even without me knowing who Jordan Peele was, because again, I know how people get biased, Tarantino fans. And yeah, give me some new stuff to review, and I'm out.